Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. How's everybody doing? What's up, our gardens? How you doing? Okay, looks like a bit of a slow night in 7-Eleven. Our overnight inventory is short. The bulk of the trading, probably I'd say 90% of the trading is underneath the previous day close. We are inside yesterday's cost basis, right? And inside yesterday's range, so choppy, slow business is the business of the day. Don't forget the gap, all that supply above us. So we do have a gap down. Didn't fill yesterday. Usually when we're in an uptrend and we have a gap down, we fill it pretty much that day or later that afternoon or the next morning. No dice yet. I'm good. I'm glad it's Friday. Glad it's Friday. It's been a good week, but a long week. So let's go dig in and see where we can carve out some money. Hey, Marcus. Hey, Moran. How are you? And it's cool down here in Liverpool, so the heat's gone. Let's see if we can get any lower here. I did up these balance zones this morning. The heat is coming again next week? Really? Wow. It's a good thing I invested in these air conditioners. Otherwise, my apartment would be insanely hot. Okay, so we're putting in a new overnight low. I stocked up on them last year when nobody people actually were throwing them away. Actually I got a couple of them for free. Hey, hola Juan. ¿Qué pasa? Where's our overnight point of control? It is here. Let's see if these balance zones are any good. Yesterday's cost basis is here at 30. That's where the majority. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, I'm talking about this purple stuff here. The purple tells you where the majority of the trading occurred, where's the position is, right? So as we drop in, you know, yesterday the last half hour of trading, the lows down here at 74.18. That's an area I would look to get tested in today's trade. After you have a sell-off, after you have a big sell-off and a gap down, never forget about this low. This could get tested, right? And we're trying to get a little lower right now. all the cheap stuff that they bought underneath 74.36, they sold at night. It wasn't a huge move up, but it was enough to get rid of some inventory. Now we're going to go and test, find out where the bid is before London opens. Let's see. Where can you get your cheat sheet on these numbers? Um, there's actually no cheat sheet. It's really simple. What you do, um, sorry, hang on, let me put on my glasses so I can see your username. One sec. J Reardon, J Reardon 3538. I'm just gonna call you Jay. Jay, what you do is you find a balance zone, which is your cost basis, and then the red zones discount, the green zones profit. Okay, and if you want to learn how to trade or use this information in a simple way, check out our room. I'll do a little plug for it. We teach you how to trade just using common sense and how the business works. So it's not like really a trading method, it's the method of the market, which is what I teach. It's what I grew up in. You know, I've been doing it for 34 years and, just a user manual. Basically, I'm the user manual. I have probably 600 videos. I do execution classes every week. I teach, I do one-on-one mentoring. If you join the room, you can DM me at any time and we can chat. There are user manuals. I have a document which is just a 5-step on how I do things every morning, so we have a way of doing business that is simple, easy to follow. Try it out for a month and see if you like it. I promise you'll learn more in a month than you will 10 years anywhere else. And the information that we use to teach you is the information that you can actually make money with, right? It's all practical. It is a written document, yeah. Hey, Dave. How you doing? Long time no see. What is Moran saying here? Rather big cost basis, 28.39ish. There could be, Moran. I can tell this one's working because there's a seller at 39 and a quarter. Right. We'll see. Now, a lot of traders say don't trade on Fridays. I do trade on Fridays, but I trade small. I trade light because, you know, my whole thing is to save the money that I made this week for my clients, right? It is, let's see. How expensive Sierra? It's cheap. It's less than $100 a month. What are you guys paying for Sierra? 50, it's like 50 to $75, right? It's really cheap. What are the letters? Oh, this isn't a tick chart. This is what they call a market profile chart. Okay? And all that is, a market profile chart is just a fancy half-hour candle chart. So each half-hour candle, right, has a letter assigned to it. Bingo. Exactly. Ben, thanks for joining us. The cost basis will depend on where the bulk of the trading occurred in the prior session or that session earlier, right? You're exactly right. Yeah. So, how this TPO came about in 1986 or 1984 or something in Chicago, there was a guy called J. Peter Stadelmeyer who was a trader but a stats guy. And what he said was these are like if you take this and flip it over on its side, it looks like a bell curve. So he took a bell curve and he flipped it this way to see the distribution. And he came up with this thing called market profile. Now in Chicago in the old days on the floor, they would say if a trade happened in A period, it happened between 9:30 a.m. 10. That's where they got these numbers, these letters from, right? So you'll notice in the overnight, because the overnight's a long session, 6 p.m. to 9:30 the next morning, you'll get uppercase letters and then lowercase letters, right? So that's what like the J period usually is an inventory correction lower. Hang on, I think I'm in a long here. One sec. I better check. Right. So the TPO chart or the market profile chart is just a fancy way of keeping track of inventory. That's all it is really, right? So yeah, what am I long? I'm long. Where did I buy? I'm long 38. I'll sell a couple here. Hey trader, what's going on? Yes. The document is, it should be, have you looked, Trader, through my, where is it here? JJ Concepts. I've put it in there multiple times. Let me get it for you. If you guys are long, remember there's going to be a seller up here at 44. Make sure you take a little bit of profit. Now, we've already corrected inventory down. London's going to open, and usually it corrects lower. If it does not correct lower, we're going to take this cheap crap under 74.44 and try and sell it up near VWAP. So make sure, if you are long, that you have your sell orders out so you can take advantage of that move, right? Let me just grab that document for you, Trader. One sec. There we go. London is open. There you go. No problem. No problem. there's VWAP. Beautiful, Iron Chef. Now go to sleep and get some rest. Get some rest. You were waiting for that. I know you were staying up waiting for that move. I do have a TradingView account. What I do is I use it like for quick quotes, and I started using the free account for Bitcoin, and that seemed to, there we go. There's 48. Remember, inventory is short. That's why we're getting this move up, right? We're correcting inventory, right? If we can stay above 74.44 here, we should be able to rotate up to 55. It could be a look above and fail. Let's see, right? Remember, inventory is short. And once we get over this 74, if we can hold over VWAP and enough people are short underneath, it'll pop. Am I from New York City and Italian? No, next life I will come back Italian from New York City. I love New York. I've done a ton of business in New York, primarily Jersey City back in the old days, Montgomery Street. New York is a very, very special place for me. My best friend in the business was from Long Island, from Miller Place. I had I had a couple of crews that I worked with out of Long Island, out of the city, out of Brooklyn, Staten Island. For market profiling here, you can't gauge anything, right? Market profile our gardens is just like a map of the city, right? So, if this was a map of New York, this is like Lower Manhattan. Now we're getting into a different neighborhood. If you want to transact here, go to the neighborhood. This is just a map of the city. This is the map of the neighborhood you want to do business in. Market profile. The reason I have it, right, on here is just because I learned how to trade using market profile as a retail trader. So, Iron Chef, overnight inventory is short. Okay, brother? Here, watch this. This is really simple. If I go and I draw, there's the close, right? Yesterday's close is up here. All of the trading is underneath the close, except for this tiny little part here. So now overnight inventory is, I would say, oh, it's probably around 95% short. If the trading was above, it's long. And how that helps us, if the inventory is short, you're looking for this. If inventory is long, you're looking for this. Real simple. And if it doesn't happen, the market's trying to tell you, hey, something weird is happening, pay attention. Am I using auction market theory? I would love to say yes and try and be smart, Jay Ridden. But I'm using the business, my friend. I was an institutional trader. I've done 200 public company IPOs where I sold stock for the insiders. So while I use market profile, right? I don't, I keep it simple, right? I want to know where the sellers are, where they stop selling, right? I use market profile for three things. Where's the position, right? So where's the position? Are we above the position, which means we're in distribution? Are we underneath the position, which means we're in accumulation, right? Other thing I use are single prints, which tell me if there's trap longs or trap shorts, and poor lows and poor highs. Other than that, market profile is completely useless. There's only three or four things that you really need. Nice work, Iron Chef. Good stuff. Okay. Do I change the way I execute orders, targets, if the cost basis is definitely, Ben. Good questions tonight, you guys. Yeah, if it's a narrower cost basis, I know business is slow, right? Smaller discount. I get in there, it's like playing a par three instead of playing a full golf game. You just get in there and chop around, take what you can get. If the cost basis is a bit bigger, business is a little, today was not bad. We were long, I was long here in these 38s against the 36s. I just popped and flipped them up there, made a couple of $100 for the first trade. Not bad. I definitely, what we will teach you in our room is how to judge how the business is going and then how to adapt your trading so you don't get run over, right? So now we know we've got sellers up here. Just so if you're long, you should expect some selling here, right? If we can stay above VWAP, if we got enough people short under 44, they'll start to cover, right? We just looked below VWAP and popped, right? Well, shorts, the thing is, our gardens, they got to exit size, right? They got to exit size. Because these people are they're not short like 5 contracts, right? Down here, they'll be net short the people who are pounding away at this looking for the overnight low. Now they just got caught with their pants down. Pop that seller here, which means they've seen buyers and they're going to raise price. Let's see if 53.5 works. What nationality? I'm a little strange, okay? I was born in Sri Lanka, but I was raised in the prairies of Canada. All my friends are rednecks and cowboys. And I spent a ton of time in New York, but I lived in Vancouver for 30 years where I was an executing trader for Swiss banks, offshore institutions, stock promoters, hedge fund guys. Howdy. Yeah, so all my friends are cowboys and rednecks that I grew up with. It's okay, Iron Chef. We'll get you there. Don't worry, brother. We'll get you there. Okay. Let's see if 53.5 works. I did these levels on the 1 minute chart this morning before I had my coffee, so let's see how well my brain is working. There was a little delay there. Let's see if we do a look above and fail of 53. Yeah, but I love New York. New York's like one of my favorite places. How do I derive my levels? Really simple. I look for the blue balance zone, and it's just, I've got videos on how to do it. It's on YouTube. You just look for a buyer and a seller. Like they sell here, they stop selling here. You got some time and volume traded here. You take that and you double it to the top, you double it to the bottom. So it's cost basis, 2 times profit, 4 times profit, 8 times profit. Like I say, it's hillbilly math, right? This move up should be no surprise as inventories probably, like I said, it was about 95% short. We're going to correct it if we tag the close. 74.55 is a level from my half hour candle. And let's see, remember I said if we hold the 44s, we're going to hit 55? We're close. We're close. Almost there. And on the good old half hour chart, we've got sellers up at 74.60. So if you are long, make sure in this area here we're gonna have some traffic. If we can pop it, we'll look for 74.66. The levels are really simple. Everything I do is really, really simple. 74.57, yeah, I'm kind of looking where they're going to sell in this little area here. So we just corrected inventory. Now let's see what happens. If we hold over 53, we'll do this. If we come back under 53, look for a short down to 48. Some nice, simple, calm trading this morning. TradingView does not have a TPO indicator. The good thing is, Jay Reardon, you don't need TPO. If you look at this half hour chart, you can duplicate this chart on TradingView. It'll give you pretty much the same information. Okay? Except a couple of tiny little details, right? Really, the market profile chart is just basically a half hour candle chart that's a little bit more fancy. You can see all the volume at every tick in each candle. So you can go and separate the candles out and see specifically like this candle, you can see where the volume is here, how they're distributing up here. Do you see that? So the net longs here are going to distribute here. You see the size? This is the overnight point of control, and this is the point of control of this candle, which means the inventory is now being distributed for profit. Real simple, right? So that's the only thing about a market profile chart that's interesting. It gives you just some more options so you can see the volume at every tick, so you can see the accumulation and then distribution. That's all, right? Market profile has been insanely overcomplicated, to which, I mean, a lot of people, and I don't mean to be disparaging, but a lot of people who have taken the courses from educators, they don't make money because they just make it unnecessarily complicated. Yeah, we got to what, 56 and change there, Iron Chef. So pretty close, my friend. What about how to set up? Yeah, it's all in the trading room, my friend. There's a document in our room that you can access. It's really simple. You just look for that back and forth, draw a blue. Like if you can draw a box, I can teach you how to do this. So look at that low, that high, right? And you're just looking for two-sided trade, right? So when that low holds, does it go to that high? When you can't get to that low, does it go to that high? All you're looking for is these matching up. And what that is two-sided business. Exactly. Right? This is where they sell. This is where they stop selling. They accumulate in this area and then they go and sell it for profit. So this is cost basis. This is the profit zone. Now we're into 4 times profit. Pretty simple. It helps you keep, it helps you keep your head because you're like, oh, um, should I be really buying it at 4 times what they paid for it? Right? Now let's see. Can we take out the overnight high? There you go, Moran. Yeah. Now we're going to run that overnight high. There's going to be some stops there. Do they dump into it or does that create buying? Let's see. We have anything interesting for news today?